Hey guys, I wanted to do a little video on elephant ears, also known as Colocasia and Alocasia. That's the most common ones that you'll find at the store. So I have gathered quite a few here in my tropical garden, and so I just wanted to go over a few of the varieties. We'll start with all of the Colocasia varieties, and I'll walk you through each one of those, and then we'll move on to the Alocasia. Okay, so first we're going to start with this beautiful black variety of elephant ear. So these are a Colocasia Esculenta, which is most of the Colocasias that I'm going to show you here are called Colocasia Esculentas. This is the variety Diamondhead, and it is mostly black all over. It has beautiful green and kind of purplish veining on the backs. And the stem itself is kind of a magenta purpley color. This is a clumping variety of elephant ear, and I'm going to post a picture up right now of how I planted these. So I bought one pot about this big of this plant, and it had several little sprouts in it, and I thought, you know, instead of just putting this one big clump of it in the ground, I'm gonna separate them and see what happens. So I separated they were literally this tall. I separated all these little elephant ears, and they were like 2 little stems each, and I put them in the ground. It looked ridiculous when I did it, and you'll see in the picture. And I just crossed my fingers and hoped that one day they would grow up to be big. And what do you know? As you can see, this is mind-blowing to me. Like, every single tiny little sprout that I planted grew to be an adult clump of plants, and it's just amazing. So it just goes to show, like, if you want big bang for your buck, just buy one pot of them, make sure there's a bunch of little ones in there, and then separate them out. You have to have patience, but if you do, it'll pay off. So let's move on to the next one. The next variety of Colocasia Esculenta is White Lava. And this one is also a clumping variety that gets not quite as tall as the Diamondhead. So this one is younger than my Diamondheads. So it still has some growing to do, but it'll probably top off around 4 feet. As with all elephant ears, the old ones that are just have spent their life already, they're all done, they're gonna become pretty ugly, and you're just going to want to trim them off. And so I just go around and trim off the ones that are ugly and make room for the new fresh ones that are coming out. All right, these here are your regular run-of-the-mill elephant ears, Colocasia Esculenta, just regular elephant ears that you see kind of all over. Depending on their maturity, how old they are, some are smaller and some are much bigger. But these are only about, I've had these in the ground for maybe 5 months, and they went from being this big to this big in a matter of months. It's one of the most vigorous plants that you'll find, and you need to make sure that you do plant elephant ears in a space where you're okay with them reproducing, because they do that pretty easily. You'll see all around the base of these, there's little babies popping up. And of course you could pop them out and transplant them wherever you want, give them to friends. But if you need an area to be filled up with beautiful tropical plants, elephant ears are the way to go. Just find the variety that pleases you the most and have at it. This is the illustrious variety of Colocasia, and it has a black inside and green on the outside. This is a very immature plant, baby that's only been in the ground for a couple months. And again, I bought it this big. This plant was $10. This one, when it's bigger, will have more black in the center. You can kind of see if you can get close on this one. This one has a little bit more black in it. So as it grows, it's going to get some more of that beautiful variation. And this one produces runners underground, which the other ones are more of a clumping variety, and this one produces runners. So it will start to propagate itself all over here, which is what I want. I'm good with that. So there's one more variety of Colocasia I'm going to show you, and then we'll move on to the Alocasia. All right, my final and favorite type of elephant ear here is this one, which I think is a variety called Colocasia Gigantea. The reason I only think that is because I actually got these from the nature preserve behind my house, because a neighbor had apparently not liked these anymore, so they threw them out behind their house. And of course, elephant ears being elephant ears, they continued to grow, you know, regardless of the neglect. And I could see these gorgeous giant elephant ears just sitting back there where no one could see them. And so I decided, hey, I'm gonna go grab a few of those and see what they'll do. And sure enough, they just have been a wonderful addition to this space. This is not even as big as one of these other leaves has gotten. So if it is a Gigantea, it can grow to be 9 foot tall, and one individual leaf can grow as big as 5 foot tall. And so that's what makes me think it is that, because it doesn't look like my other Esculentas. It is a curlier kind of leaf, and I really think that's what it is. It has a really pretty variegation too, kind of almost like a swirl of lighter green and darker green. Just a very beautiful variety. The only issue with it is that it gets so heavy that it kind of starts to droop quicker than the others, but it's just so pretty, and you can see it from a mile away. So that's all the Colocasia varieties, and we know the difference because the Colocasia are the leaves that droop down, elephant ears that droop down. The Alocasia are more upright varieties, and I remember it because an A is pointing up, Alocasia more upright. And so let's check out some of those. All right, this first variety is Alocasia Calidora, and it can grow to 7 foot tall, and that's my hope, because this is in this little side yard area that doesn't get any use, and I just want something big and beautiful here to kind of start covering up this ugly fence. And so this variety is upright. Like I said, all Alocasias are more upright, and hopefully it'll just keep growing. It'll be about this tall when it's fully grown. I have it next to some regular clumping variety of Colocasia down here, and so I'm just excited to watch it grow. All right, this variety of Alocasia is called Regal Shield, and this is not the best example of it because I have it in a place that gets mostly full sun. And unfortunately, Alocasia is not a big fan of full sun here in Houston. So as you can see, I have some sun damage, some sunburn. The leaves are just bleached out because of the sun. The new leaves are doing okay, but really it needs to be moved to more of a part sun location. So I will be moving this, but let me show you some that popped up in an old pot that I had that I didn't even know had any bulbs in the soil. And I looked one day and all of a sudden it was full of Regal Shield. Let me show you. Back here in this almost fully shaded spot, I had a pot of soil, and all of a sudden all these Regal Shields popped up. So I'll be moving these and transplanting them to some better areas where they can be seen. I might even try one inside. We'll see. So you can do any of these types inside as long as you give them a bright light location. And here in Houston, we're a zone 9A, and they overwinter here just fine. If it doesn't get to freezing too bad, then they'll even stay green. But if it gets to freezing, they'll usually die back. I just cut them back to the ground, and they pop right back up when it warms up. And so they're a great addition to any garden because they pretty much are a year-round interest. And I just really wanted to let everybody see the different varieties that you can get and really enjoy the different types. Like elephant ears get a bad name, but they're really a great plant for your garden. All right, for this last Alocasia, this one's called Mayan Mask, and it is beautiful purple on the backs and a nice green on the fronts with large veins and a curly look to them. They're so unique, and since they stand upright, you do see the purple a lot. You're gonna think I'm crazy why these are in a garbage bag, but my sister-in-law actually had these at her house, and she has mostly all full sun, and she had these in full sun and they were just burning up. And so she said, you know what, they would be much happier at your house in a shadier location. So she pulled them up for me, and I could only get them home in a garbage bag because they're so big and heavy. So I'm excited to plant these in my front yard. So I'm gonna give them kind of a part sun location and see how they do. And I'll give y'all an update once they grow big and mature. I hope this is good information for you guys, so you can go out and look for the different varieties of elephant ears, both Colocasia and Alocasia, now that you know the difference, and find a good spot in your garden, good part sun location. But as you saw, they can go anywhere from shade even to full sun if it's a regular elephant ear Colocasia variety. So if you have any questions, just message me and we can talk about it. I hope this inspired you to go plant today.